Greetings, Sleeper. Esper here. In the beta, my main focus was messing around with the combat system and testing skills in PvP with my friends. While I did not intend to share this knowledge initially, one, so I could stomp on noobs in the deep desert that hadn't figured this out yet, and because I wanted to do a more in-depth video on the skills after the game came out. However, I wanted to make something for my guild Unhinged and for my friends that won't be playing as much so that everyone is on the same knowledge level when we start to play. So if you found my little channel, then congratulations to you. You're going to have a leg up on most of the people in the deep desert over those who haven't seen this video before. Now with that being said, I want to thank you guys for the subs and likes over the last few videos. The support has definitely made me want to make more content. Funcom told me to take down that last video. I went and did that, but I'll remake it for you guys so that you have that knowledge still. I'm a gamer that happens to be a video editor, so in 3 months when all these content creators are out of here trying to farm views off the next hot thing, I'll still be here making content for you guys. So that's what you're subbing up for if you hit that sub button. In this video, I intend to explain the base understanding of the combat system and then the base meta build for every build in PvP. So you're not getting destroyed because nobody wants to be this guy. First, I want you to understand the base mechanics, because after watching the LAN party and some other YouTube videos, I can tell you that it's not the easiest system for people to grasp. It took me hours to learn, and I still need to learn some of the tier 3 skills. So stick with me through this, and I'll show you how not to get Jon Snow'd and fast forward like Shroud did by Tyler. I know at first glance you have a hotbar, you have an HP gauge, and some blue stuff that looks like mana, so immediately you start thinking MMO PvP. Well, toss that mindset in the trash and start thinking the PvP more in like a MOBA mindset. Think Smite without the pushing lanes, it's just a big open map with objectives that pop up. Now, I want to take a second to make a disclaimer that this is not a big PvP MMO game. You're not going to be PvPing until you reach the deep desert, which is after hours of playing in the regular game, and then you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody unless you're going after the same objective or you come across each other in a dungeon. There were a lot of other guilds that I was looking for to see for some competitive play where they were going, and they just straight up quit the game after the beta, realizing what it was. So now with that out of the way, let me explain this HUD gauge to you in PvP terms. The green bar is your life bar. The yellow bar is your energy bar. So think suspensor belt and shield. No energy, no shield. The big red bar in the middle we're going to call the bar that disappears when your shield is gone. I don't want you getting confused with your life bar because that's not what it is, and if I call it HP, it's going to get confusing. The blue is your water gauge. This affects how much life you have. No, not HP, your life bar. That's right. So I know you're asking, why is the stamina your life bar in PvP? Well, everything you do revolves around stamina. And just like your HP, or red bar that disappears when your shield is down, if you don't have any, you're dead. You use skills with stamina. You dodge with stamina. Passive skills kick in if you have the stamina to trigger them. You can't stop crowd control that's cast on you of any kind if you don't have stamina, and then you're dead. So your life gauge is precious and needs to be valued above all else. Then anything that affects your stamina, such as your water gauge, is priority. Then your energy and your red bar that disappears when your shield is gone are going to be your next highest priority. Now that you have an understanding of how ridiculously important your stamina is, let's touch on the skills and the base techniques that revolve around this meta, and then we'll get into the hotbar. Dune Awakening database is a cool site from Adine. I'll be using his site for this part as I don't have access to the game to show you things in there. So again, build your character like it's a MOBA character. You have 3 skills and an ultimate. Plus you get 3 passive techniques. So what's your ultimate? It's spice food. When you eat or drink enough spice food, you'll be kicked into a melange state. With the spice coursing through your veins, you'll have additional damage, reduced cooldowns, and are immune to poison. Additionally, this gives you a layout showing the player's HP bar above their head. To the right, you see what weapon they have equipped with the current ammo count below it. On the left-hand side of the player, you see which skills they have. So getting familiar with all the skill icons in the game is going to be key for knowing which targets to attack first and how to counter your opponents.
Spice food sounds pretty nice, right?
Well, this is the icon for spice food. But instead of eating mouse balls, I like to think of my spice food as a purple spicy bean burrito, because I get the munchies when I'm on spice. First, let me go over what techniques you're going to need to get started with this meta, and then let me show you what skills you're going to need to max out and the paths that cost the least amount of points to get there. To be clear, this is an endgame build. You have already done the advanced trainer quests for each class and have completed the story and understand spice. Now, first and foremost, Swordmaster's Knee Charge is an excellent skill for PvP, but if you are not into it for your build, you can just put 1 point here and move on to Optimized Hydration. This lets your blue bar affect your life bar by 25% more when it's full. Then, the first of 3 key techniques is disciplined breathing. This allows your life bar to regenerate faster. This is a must. Then general conditioning to give you another 25% max stamina. Now your life gauge is increased by 50% and it regens faster. Next, work your way up the will tree's left side to get solid stance. This will reduce the Jon Snow effect by reducing the amount you get staggered. Max this out because the 20% here is key to stack with your next technique. In the Bene Gesserit tree, you're going to want to get sun tolerance and max this out. You're going to PvP in the sun at some point, and this affects how fast your sunstroke meter fills up. And when it maxes out, it drains your water gauge, and your water gauge affects, you guessed it, your life gauge. Then get the middle node to unlock your other technique, Prana Bindu Stability, which will give you a total of 55% stagger or poise resist when stacked with solid stance. In the Planetologist class, you're going to go up the Explorer tree on the right side to max out Still Suit Seals. This will double your water catch reserves in your Still Suit. Now 80% of the time that you're traveling around the deep desert, you'll be wearing a still suit, preferably a high-end unique one with a good armor value. And this is going to give you tons more time while out there with full hydration. Now in large guild fights, you might be wearing armor, and for this you won't be needing this spec'd out obviously, but that's another video. Then, in the Scientist tree, you want to go up the right side, maxing out rerouting and overcharge. This will allow you to have more total energy and recharge it faster. Next up is Mentat. You're going to want to go up the right side of the Tactician tree to get your third and final technique, Iron Will. This will allow you to ignore voice commands from the Bene Gesserit who are not spiced up and using the rapid register with you as a focused target. This is your golden standard in techniques and passives for the base of any good PvP build. I need to make a quick disclaimer that I'm hoping Iron Will be one of the skills touched by the devs in the upcoming stamina changes that they mention.
I just need to say that this is a particular playstyle that we're addressing with the stamina changes we're doing.
Exactly.
Iron Will currently takes 45 stamina to trigger, but it needs some sort of invulnerability to more voice attempts for 15 to 20 seconds afterwards. It also has to have a cooldown of the same so that it doesn't trigger again in the game code. As it goes right now, multiple Bene Gesserits can cast voice on you and leave you completely with no stamina. If this is not changed, Battle Harden from the Trooper tree will give you cooldowns.
That's going to get adjusted. People's expectations are going to get adjusted to the new experience that's going to be coming online. They'll love it.
For your skills, you're going to want at least one of the following 3. Bindu Sprint, Knee Dash, or Shiga Wire Claw. These abilities give you maneuverability as well as engage and disengage. From there, your next 2 skill choices are for your build, but first, let's finish off this PvP build. I like my purple spicy burrito with cheese, steak, guacamole, and the fixings. So if we're gonna eat a purple spicy burrito, let's add some more filling to it. Grab Prescient Strike from Swordmaster. After a knee charge or a Swordmaster skill, your next melee attack will do double damage. Then move over to Precise Parry. When you parry your opponent, they're going to take 40% more damage. This will stack with our next passive and put fear into those trying to Jon Snow you. In the Bene Gesserit tree, go up the right side of Weirding Way to grab yourself Bindu Dodge. Now, on that same parry, the following attempts to Jon Snow you will pass right through you, and you'll be able to counter with attacks of your own. Then get your burrito all nice and cheesy before you wrap it up with Shield Overcharge from the Mental Calculus Mentat tree. Putting 1 point into each skill on the right side is going to be the cheapest way to get there. But with Shield Overcharge, your ranged attacks are now going to break through shields easier. I will post a link in the description below for this build so that you can mess with the remaining 97 points and add your own build to it. Now that you have the base understanding of what's essential to move into the deep desert PvP zone, let's talk about your hotbar and weapon tactics so that you can master PvP combat. First up is your melee weapon. You need this on your bar. Melee is part of the combat system, so don't try and resist it. At some point, you're going to be in close quarters combat in PvP, and you're either going to want a knife or a sword. The knife is slightly faster attacks, and the sword has more damage and further reach. I don't think either has a parry bonus, so the choice is your preference. Next is your mid-range weapon, 30 to 50 meters. Here you want to choose either between a rifle or a pistol. Your pistol is going to shoot and reload faster, while your rifle has more range and damage. Next up is your close ranged weapons. Anything inside of 30 meters and closer, you're going to want a disruptor or a scattergun. Now, I'm going to tell you to keep both of these on your bar. Not having a disruptor is not an option. You can think of this as an SMG from other games.
I don't like the whole I have to melee them out of their fucking shields, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's kind of the...
Like, why do I have to run up on people and fucking melee them?
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I use a disruptor. The high rate of fire from a disruptor will overwhelm and break the shields of an incoming opponent. From there, you can switch to your shotgun and finish them off. Shotguns are worthless against shielded targets, but will devastate an unshielded one. The fifth thing you're going to want to slot is probably a heavy weapon or a sniper rifle, depending on your build. If you use neither, here's a free slot. The sixth thing you're going to want slotted is your purple spicy burrito. You're always going to want to have quick access to your alt in case any kind of PvP situation arises. The seventh thing you want slotted is medkits. And for your last and final slot, your vehicle storage tool. So if you need to break away in the open desert, you can do so and be quick about it. Now that you understand your heads-up display and how to maximize it, you're just going to need to learn how to juggle your weapons for the right situation and use your stamina wisely without getting overwhelmed. I'll get into basic skill combos and builds in other videos, so sub if you want to see those. And for my next one, I'll be doing a speed run and getting a bike and getting out of Haga Basin as soon as possible. I'll see you in the next one, Sleeper, and as always, fly low and fly fast. I'm Esper,
Duke of Arrakis! Eruditi na Heshidani! Nelishan al-Kai! Ruin di Melaruk! Ashini! Listen, al-Kai!